Hello, I'm Barry John. Welcome back to Descent, and I have a lot of co-commentators on this last stretch. I'll let them introduce themselves.
Hello, I'm Dr. Bones.
It's Laylight again.
And it's me, Solitaire.
Hey, Solitaire. So I got a couple of new guys here, and well, let's just say it's Plasma City today.
I love Plasma City. It's my favorite.
And so this particular level here, level 25. Actually, before a second here, people were commenting, why don't you use hit scan weapons in all of these medium-sized rooms, where everything is awesome and fun and you've got plenty of room to maneuver? Well, here's the answer. Vulcan Cannon still sucks.
Yeah, the hit scan weapons didn't really come into their own until like 2, I feel like.
I noticed that also you were missing quite a bit just because the spread on the Vulcan is practically, non-existent. The robot has to be right under those crosshairs or you're not hitting it.
Yeah.
Good thing the game
And
will
at that
never
point,
force you to use it at any point, huh?
Yep. But, yeah, so that was my last demonstration of why the Vulcan Cannon is not good. Seriously, people, don't use the Vulcan Cannon if you could possibly avoid it.
I mean, I guess it might be nice for sniping enemies you already know are there from really far away, but as mentioned in other videos, the shaking when you're idle kind of makes it hard to use for that purpose, too.
Yeah, about the only time I remember really using it was when I was really, really, really low on energy.
Yeah, it's been so long since I played Descent 2, I can't remember what points I used what weapon.
We're playing Descent, not Descent 2.
Oh, right.
So as mentioned in some of the prior videos, earlier Neptune levels were only using those green missile guys in specific ambushes, but this time, now that we're in Pluto, they're showing up all over the place, which, although those enemies are still old, the fact that they're more common now is actually a way of driving up the difficulty.
Yep. They're
Good old
basically
enemy
throwing
density.
everything at you at this point, right?
Yeah, pretty much. Because, yeah, last 3 levels here on Pluto, honestly, there's no reason not to be holding back. But, we've talked a lot about level design in the past, and one of the things that doesn't really come up often, but I think this level in particular is one of the best examples of, is you can see a story behind the level design here. For example, we're in all of these corridored rooms with these corridors with the hemispherical rooms on the end of them, right?
Yeah.
Right.
But when this will be showing you actually a little bit later on in more detail, but when you have a look at the irregularities in it, like in that second room I went into, not the Vulcan Cannon room, but the second room I went in, there was that little insert at the top there where there was that missile hulk, or that little military missile bot hiding. And part of it was that, you can almost see, this is where the robots, mined in. And this is how they got in.
Yeah, it's really interesting to see what they'll do with, the limited assets that were available in this era of 3D processing.
Oh, this was before 3D processing.
Oh, right.
Remember, people, there used to be a day when 3D graphics cards were the exception, not the norm.
The dark days.
I guess I got my terms mixed up.
But yeah, to be fair, this game did a lot of behind-the-scenes, shall we say, cheating in order to run as smooth as it did when it did.
Yeah, it really was like a coding and engineering marvel in that respect.
Save the invulnerability power up for later because I know I'll need it later.
Yeah, I mean, that's the other what really makes a level is just the strength of its set pieces, and I guess the progression in mood throughout a level, if that makes any sense.
Yeah,
So it isn't just hitting you hard all the time, it's giving you time to set up for really memorable challenges.
it's also turning around and saying, hey, like, you know what? Nothing. Like, you know, you're in this section and suddenly, you know, there's no enemies, or the enemies involved are pretty weak. You're thinking, like, what's the other catch to this?
Yeah, they did a really good job of building tension with things like that.
Is there a catch?
There is always a catch. The catch is called Vulcan drillers hiding in the darkness.
Man, so many missiles strewn around here.
Well, to be fair, that's because I blew up a missile thrower, so it dropped missiles behind to...
Yeah, they give
stop.
you way more concussion missiles than you end up using.
Yeah, it's probably the self-damage aspect as well as the fact that the basic concussion missiles damage isn't quite that amazing, really. But, I mean, that's game balance. It's hard to get game balance just right.
Very true. And it's also partly on me because I tend to use the missile weapons as a backup, a secondary, you know, something that I don't really use except as, well, when I find my direct fire weapons just aren't good enough. Like, you'll see me whip out the smart missiles just to shoot around corners. Or homing missiles to go, like, you know what, I might not have a perfect line on this guy. Let's just, you know, hit him in the face.
I imagine you can probably get a lot better at using concussion missiles if you really wanted to.
Oh, yeah. It's like, concussion missiles, they are a very solid weapon, don't get me wrong. But it's just a case of, how best do I describe it? You have to practice with them more than anything else.
Yeah.
I think I would just say the level 4 quad lasers are just too good.
Very, very true. And when we get into Descent 2, because, yeah, no secret by this time, we'll be seeing, like, just some of the balance passes done to the weapons, and I'll be talking about those as well. Oh, by the way, you can see the little purple walled corridor back there. That's just to make you panic that, oh my god, that's actually totally a secret, like a spawning ground. And
God.
no, let's not go up here. That's just a smart missile. There's 4 plasma hulks up here. I have no further interest of going up there.
I'm one of those people who has to map out everything, so I probably gave myself a lot more grief than I strictly had to.
Oh yeah, 100% map exploration. Gotta fill in every last corner.
And I couldn't even understand the 3D map that well as a kid.
Yeah, that's an acquired skill for sure.
And that's just another thing where I'm like, nah, not worth it.
So I guess another thing that this level's doing a lot is these long corridors where you barely have enough room to dodge shots that are coming in at you from a long distance. But that's cool because you can actually see the shots coming and you can feel really good when you actually dodge them.
Is the trapezoid shape affecting gameplay?
Not really. I mean, it gives you more room to maneuver at the bottom of at the bottom side of the corridor, but other than that, no, not really.
It might affect your auto-leveling a little bit, but that's about it.
Yeah. Now, I mentioned earlier, you know, how the level design can show a story and how, you know, you can see the robots digging into these mines.
There we go.
Yeah, it looks like something...
There's those hexagonal shapes we love so much.
Yeah. Place has function beyond the gameplay.
And I mean, that's a nice thing about level design. Like, you know, you don't have to throw a spectacle in the player's face to get them to think about things. I mean, yeah, you can just, you know, do that sort of thing, or you can step back and, go, this is where the robots invaded. Look at all the messages we're dropping and all the,
Oh yeah,
recordings."
yeah. Like this game does not
yeah.
rely upon logbooks. You have to read between the lines. You might get some mission briefings, but even they're getting pretty sparse by this point in the game.
Basically, it's a case of, here's your next go-to point. Please remember to try and rescue the hostages, hopefully.
What?
Feeling better this morning?
Yeah.
Alright, I'm happy to hear that, man.
Alright. Yeah. It's always something I can appreciate when it's done well.
Yeah, and this particular room, you have absolutely no reason to go in here unless you're short on mega missiles, because there's those 2 homing hulks just hiding down here.
Oh, well, see, in a case like that, I would think, let's use a mega missile and get a mega missile. What could go wrong? And then I'll just get hit by homing missiles anyway.
Yeah.
I feel bad.
I think mega missiles were those sorts of things that I hoarded because what if that was the wrong time to use them?
Yeah, that's kind of a thing that's tricky to get just right in a game like this, but I feel like they do a decent job of, putting together set pieces that are really nasty, like 4 homing hulks or like a room full of drillers that make you think, this is a regular level, but this sucks enough that I kind of want to just mega missile this, and then you do, and then occasionally you'll feel pretty good about it.
But the thing is, there's absolutely no reason for you to come into that room in the first place. You can always just turn around and go, you know what? I don't need this grief. I'm out of here.
Fair
Well,
enough.
that's a reasonable decision to allow the player to make, too.
Unlike, certain other shooters whose names shall go unmentioned, that's basically press forward plus shoot button.
Yeah. There's a lot to be missed in this era of gaming.
They had to be really creative to get around all of the various limitations that they were constrained by. They made for some really, really creative, gameplay and design decisions and gameplay loops and stuff.
Yeah. Plus, you just can't have a maze without dead ends. Unless it was some kind of loop-back maze where all the hallways basically connected to one another. And I think we had a few examples of that, even.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or, they could be teleporter mazes.
Oh, no.
Know what this game needs more of? Jump pads.
Yeah.
This game needs ladders.
Ooh.
Oh, there are ladders. They are, they're graphical textures on some walls.
Neat.
More of that environmental thing. That's cool.
Environmental storytelling, I think, is
Yes.
the phrase.
Well, look, it's miserable enough being a Pluto researcher, You gotta get these guys some stairs, at least.
Nah, man.
Well, when you get down to Pluto, the gravity is so low. Also, please this is your typical reminder that the robots ignore the light levels.
Oh, yeah, they have, infrared scanners or something.
Yeah.
How do you change the
Why
light
we
levels
don't
again?
is a mystery for the ages, but I guess they needed to save money for our generous salary.
Oh, yeah. And have you seen the dental plan?
How do you change the light levels in this game?
The gamma? Oh, you don't.
Oh.
If you want to make light, you fire your flare.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
Yeah, that school of game design.
So it's just they can see you in the dark. That's it.
Yep.
Yeah, and that was another thing that the source ports of this game actually messed with, like the colored lighting and whatnot from all these projectiles flying around. But every now and then you just get a dark room and you just have to put up with it. Thankfully this game doesn't have flickering lights. That would be annoying, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. But when we get into Descent 2, there's just so many improvements involved in that game that, even dark rooms get improved.
I'm sure some modder has put in flickering lights at some point.
Yeah. But yeah, I will hold you to that statement. Show me how the dark rooms get better.
Okay, you know what?
Oh man, yeah, you raised my hopes up. For a minute there, I thought you really were going to use those proximity bombs.
Sorry. I was, multitasking there.
Yeah, proximity bombs probably take a lot to get the hang of as well.
I'm sure they can be used for more than just dropping them in front of the little monster closets, but they're kind of awkward.
Yeah.
I mean, the thing is, like, they're supposed to, attract homing missiles as well, but it... Honestly, like, when we talked about that last time, I'll repeat it again, usually when somebody's firing a homing missile at you, they're firing it from the front, and so dropping a mine behind you doesn't really help.
We've had a couple of cases in recent levels where they were ambushing you from the sides with homing missiles, but that was more of the exception rather than the norm.
Yeah. Oh, just gotta make sure I don't, clip the damage box for the reactor.
Yeah, a little bit of an armada here, but nothing really out of the ordinary.
Nope. And everything is cleared out there in just a moment. But yeah, a reactor by itself is defenseless. So I'm pretty much done for this one, and now it's time to run for the exit.
You're cutting it awfully close with those shields there.
Oh, trust me, if I cut it any closer, I'd have reloaded.
Oh, you don't keep those low shields next time, do you?
Nope. They go back up to 100 on the next level.
Thank God.
Speaking of, I'll see you guys all next time.
Nice.
Thank you.